another window view over some outbuildings. Of course, people are buried here, as in most cathedrals. This is one of the many pieces outside they haven't figured out what to do with yet, I guess. This is the fountain outside where Muslim worshippers used to wash their feet and their hands before entering the mosque. One last picture of the Hagia Sophia. Once again, wandering the streets of Istanbul. This beautiful glass was being sold by a woman from the Ukraine, but the glass is Turkish. And of course, their wonderful bread. Alright, now, can you find the cat? This guy was wandering along with the carpet over his shoulder. We don't know where he was going, but he sure wasn't wearing it because he was cold. A break for Turkish coffee and rice pudding with sugar caramelized on the top. One night there was an outdoor concert in Turkish music. The guy on the lower right was really into playing the kettle drums, which were invented in Turkey. This cupola was at one end of what used to be the Hippodrome. They used to have chariot races there with such intense rivalries that riots broke out. The worst was in 532 when the entire city was burned. It was finally halted when the Roman soldiers trapped 30,000 people in the Hippodrome and killed them all. There were a number of restaurants with Sufi performers. They would spin in a semi-trance for many minutes on end without getting dizzy. Dondurma is an ice cream that is so thick and gooey that they can pull the whole thing out and spin it around. It is pounded heavily to make it that way so it wouldn't melt in the heat. The fish market by the Sea of Marmara is fascinating. out the huge single claw of this lobster. This tuna just seemed to be lying there. Maybe nobody bought it. There were many restaurants with hot food just tempting you to try it. All of it fresh, healthy, and delicious. This street sloped down to the water, and the vendor there always seemed to be at this particular corner. The street level has obviously risen on this old fountain. And we have a modern young woman of Istanbul with headscarf and net stockings. We enjoyed wandering around the old section, looking at the crumbling houses and buildings. This was just a facade with modern concrete floors and stairs already poured behind it. We wondered what it would be, if ever, as there seemed to be nothing happening now. We loved this line of clothes for sale hanging in the front. Streets near our hotel sloped rather steeply down to the sea. Buildings that are being updated and modernized have to conform to the old style. Probably they want to preserve the atmosphere. We really liked this old place. And the one next to it. A street on the Asian side of Istanbul. We liked that tiny house partway up the stairs. Turkish builders like color. Note the fresh white curtains blowing in the windows. A street vendor of household cleaning tools. A young boy going to his circumcision party, dressed up like king for the day. A stand selling cold drinks and snacks by the Hagia Sophia. We really liked this minaret that we often walked by to and from our hotel. We called it the Candy Cane Minaret. This was on an old wall, probably dating from Roman times. Just down the street, a huge tour bus squeezes around the corner. Old fountains abound. This was part of the culture of hospitality. Even today we saw people come into a restaurant and ask for a glass of water. These pomegranates were absolutely huge. About an acre of flowering plants being prepared for planting around Istanbul. This was also a park. The restaurants are hurting badly from the lack of tourists. We spent a day on the Sea of Marmara. Ferry boats like this plied the waters across the Golden Horn, up the Marmara to the Asian side, or even up to the Black Sea via the Bosphorus. The Galata